Today I'm going to be showing you the main systems of the vehicle. Alright, now one of the main components of a vehicle is the engine. Without the engine, the vehicle will have no power and will not be able to move. This motor is an internal combustion. So inside each cylinder, there's many explosions which push the pistons down at different times, causing rotational force. Part of the vehicle is the transmission. The transmission takes power from the engine and converts it to torque using what's known as a torque converter. And that torque is pushed through the gears of the transmission. And that torque is then distributed to the drive shaft. And then from the drive shaft, it's pushed down to the rear differential and it pushes the power out to the tires. What we're talking about is the steering and suspension. What this does is it takes up any kind of bump from the road, it absorbs it to where you can have a smooth ride and also be able to steer your vehicle. First we have the shock and strut assembly here. Then we have the lower control arm and upper control arm. We also have a sway bar here. Then there's a rack and pinion inside here that is connected to the tie rod, which is connected to the tire. We're going to be talking about the electrical system of the vehicle. First, start off with the battery. This supplies all the electricity for all the components. First, you got the ground wire over here. That's usually connected to the frame of the vehicle. You got the positive over here, which is connected to any of the electrical components. Then you got the fuse box here, which the fuses inside allow just the right amount of amperage to get to the components without frying them. Next, we're going to move on to the alternator. Can't really see it down there, but it's right down there. That charges the battery while the vehicle is on and driving. And you got the starter as well. It's under the motor. I'm not going to be able to show you that, but that's how you start the vehicle. You send electricity to it, and it cranks over the crankshaft. Now we're going to talk about the brakes of the vehicle. The brakes are used to slow and stop a vehicle. Without brakes, you would not be able to stop and you would have issues. First, we're going to start off with the rotor right here. Next, we have the calipers. Inside the calipers on each side is brake pads. What this does is the calipers push the brake pads onto the rotor, causing friction to slow and stop the vehicle. Now we're going to talk about AC. First, you got your compressor down here. It's driven by the belt, and when it's turned on, it allows it to have the air pushing into the cabin of the vehicle. You got your AC hoses here. You got your high and your low. These determine the pressure of the air that comes into the vehicle. And in front of the passenger seat, behind the glove box, behind the firewall, is your cabin air filter. And that filters all the air that's going into the vehicle, so you don't have dust and dirt flying in your face. Now we're going to talk about engine performance. There's many key components of why having good engine performance is necessary to keep your vehicle on the road. If your vehicle's not running right, or if your motor's not running right, you're going to have a horrible ride and you're not going to be able to really keep it on the road. You're going to have to keep it in the shop a lot. Some key components that could mess with this is your coils, coil packs, spark plugs. There can be problems with sensors in your motor that need to be replaced.